Well, hi, my fellow animal lovers. Good morning. I was just sitting here at my desk getting my day started and getting ready to head out and take care of the horses here on the ranch. And I thought you might enjoy first meeting the dog pack. This is my pack now, all of them rescues, but yeah, heart-wrenching, gut-wrenching rescues that I've been privileged and blessed to say are now my dogs, and I'd like you to meet them. So let me turn this video camera around. I'm not real good with this. Somehow when I turn the video it changes the sound quality, so I'll try to speak up and hopefully you can hear me. Here we go. All right, so first I'd like to introduce you to Sheba. Sheba has been with me for quite a few years. She's a beautiful cream-colored German Shepherd, and Sheba actually is from an abusive puppy mill in San Diego. She's older now. She has suffered a mild stroke, but she's doing great. As far as great can go for an older dog. She gets around really well. She still swims in the pool. But Sheba was a foundation breeding dog for this abusive puppy mill. They used her and bred her over 13 times from what I could piece together from one of the people that knew them. She is a love. When I actually got her, the only reason they let me have the dogs in their abusive puppy mill was because they were in a violent car accident, and I was able to show up literally at the hospital and offer to take care of the dogs. And then I pled their case to please, think about their injuries and how hard it is to take care of dogs. And they agreed that they would give me the dogs, but they did not want to give me Sheba. So that day that they agreed, we went with volunteers and we got 7 dogs out of this facility. But Sheba and her puppies, I was not allowed to take. And I again pleaded her case. They started really absorbing the extent of their injuries, and they let me come back and have her about 2 weeks later. So we've never looked back. The only sad thing there in taking her was that they would not let me take her puppies. So yeah, she's been with me ever since, thank God. And this sweet angel coming to give her a smell is Frosty. And Frosty is our newest pack member. She's been with us about 7 months, maybe even more now. Geez, I lose track of time. Frosty, you can see how beautifully she's getting around. She's also about 13 years old, to my estimation. And Frosty comes from a terrible hoarder situation where she was in a small pen in the front yard of someone's home, eating poop and dirt. Yes. And her ears were completely destroyed by flies and fly larvae, so she's not able to hear, but she was starving to death and in terrible condition. And basically when we got her, we thought that day that, we'll do the best we can for her. We'll call the vet out. But we thought for sure that we would lose her probably in less than a week to her starvation and her poor condition, that she would die. But she proved us wrong, as you could see. She's doing great. She said, "Mama, I did not have death on my calendar, so forget that mess." And she gets around beautifully. She seems to just love it here on the ranch. She wants me to open this gate and let her out so she can gallivant, but it's a little hot for that. It's about 100 today. So we'll do that in the early evening. And behind me coming up, this is Lily. Lily is 10 years old. She's also a German Shepherd with a floppy ear that the cartilage damage never healed. And I got Lily, I've had her the longest. I got Lily actually when she was 3 months old. She came from a high kill shelter in San Diego. Actually, I'm sorry, up in LA County it was. And they called me. I was on a rescue list. I was shocked to get the phone call. A fellow rescuer, a friend of mine, actually called me first and said, "Look, they've got this dog." So I put my name in, as a rescue, able to help. I didn't think they would call me, but they did. And Lily had severe giardia and was basically dying. They just wanted me to take her, I guess, so she didn't die there with them. And we worked really hard to feed Lily with a syringe and chicken soup. And she made it, which we weren't sure. It was touch and go for a couple of months. But she's a sweetheart, and we're privileged to have her with us. And lastly, from our pack is my crowning jewel. There she is, my Foxy. You guys, Foxy is from the same abusive puppy mill as Sheba. They're cousins, as far as I can guesstimate. And isn't she beautiful? Foxy is Mama's pride and joy. I actually went and got Foxy from the abusive puppy mill, and when I went to get her that day, she was totally despondent. She was locked in a small chicken coop with absolutely no shelter. For how long, we don't know. It could have been for as many as 2 years, because I think she was just about 2 years old, 2.5 when I got her. And she has been a jewel in my life that I don't even want to imagine living this life without. So, Mama's pride and joy. I'd like to share with you one more who's not with us here anymore. I wear this necklace and it says Supai. This is a picture, if you can see it here. I'm sorry, how does this go? Right here. Of my precious Supai. Here she is, a picture of her lying down as a little puppy. I had actually taken a trip to the Havasupai Indian Nation in Arizona in the Grand Canyon. I know a lot of you have heard of it and know of it, maybe having visited there for a vacation or a trip into the canyon to see the blue falls that they have. It is a terrible place, folks. It is a terrible place of filth, animal cruelty, abuse to the mules, abuse to the dogs, abuse and starvation to the horses. As a rescue, I've witnessed it firsthand on 2 occasions. So we're trying in the near future. There are groups that have really been trying relentlessly to work with local governments, and so far to really no big success. They've been trying to help to stop the abuse to the mules, the abandonment and starvation of horses and dogs in that filthy reservation in that canyon. But it's tough because they do have sovereign law down there. It is their own law. They don't have to abide by the rules of the United States. So that makes it very difficult to get aid. May I please ask that you do look into this? You can type in Google search things like helping the mules of Havasupai. And if you should go there on a trek or a hiking trip, please take a dog, not with you on the trip, but take a dog out of the canyon. If you see a puppy or a dog running around, they are feral, they are unattended, please take one home with you. I've asked permission on many occasions, and the answers that I got were, one lady was a tribal elder, said, I wish someone would come and get all these dogs out of here. They're just running wild. So if you see one, please adopt one and take it home. There's no formal adoption, obviously. It's just, putting a nice leash and collar on the dog and walking or carrying them out. Meanwhile, we try to continue talking with local groups to see if there's maybe soon a rescue effort that we can put together to get some of the horses out of that condition. It's a lot. It's a big story. There's a lot to it. I'm just touching the tip of the iceberg and calling your awareness to it. My beautiful Supai was indeed a puppy that I rescued from there on a rescue mission about 7 years ago. And it breaks my heart. I'm wearing her name on my necklace to commemorate her because I lost her suddenly to very unannounced and very aggressive and unexpected lung cancer. So we've just lost her 2 months ago, and it hurts a lot. But in her memory, sorry, and for all the dogs suffering in that canyon, and the mules who work so hard carrying hundreds of pounds of weight with no rest, no real good food, tight cinches. Some of them have broken ribs. If you can look into the matter and use your voice to speak up to any charity that's listening near the canyon, as well as local officials, even in the canyon, if you can even write a letter to tribal relations, that is of help. And I'll try to get you more information as time goes by. But again, just to touch on that iceberg and tip of the iceberg and call awareness in memory of my Supai. Thanks, you guys. Let's turn it to a more happy discussion. We'll go outside and we'll meet the rescue horses next. See you out there. Thanks.